Big news coming in. India tests the nuclear-capable ballistic missile. 3,500 kilometers range nuclear-capable K-4 missile has been tested. This is a successful test flight. The big news that's coming in, the first test of the K-4 from a submarine platform. The test fired from India's new nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, INS Arihat. This is a K-4 missile, and it validates CLEG of India's nuclear attack triad. Remember, just about a few days ago, and these are consistent test flights that are taking place. The hypersonic missile test flight that we had seen barely a few days ago, and now comes in, and this is, of course, adding on to the nuclear arsenal, to the nuclear capability of India for self-defense that India has been building on. So this is the first test, I must add here, that has been done of the K-4 ballistic missile, adding on to our nuclear capabilities. And remember, at a time like that, when you are surrounded with the kind of neighbors that we are, on one side Pakistan and another China, constantly attempting to interfere and cause further disturbances into India, this is as a self-defense measure that India has been preparing with. This is from INS Arihat, that the nuclear-capable ballistic missile has been successfully the test flight that has taken place. While we are waiting for further details on this, just to give you a background on what this is, the K-4 missile from the submersible portion, the platform, and on the 6,000-ton INS Arihat. So a detailed analysis, of course, will be done on what exactly happened. But this is interesting and important, remember, because this comes days after the hypersonic missile test flight that also had come, to which the government had responded. But these are current updates of how India is focusing to build on its nuclear capabilities, and in general in the defense sector there are constant further updates that are coming in. We are told that India is also planning to induct the third SSBN as well, let's get more details on this. India Today's Shiv Aroor joins me for the latest. Shiv, this is historic, this is important, but tell us more details of nuclear capable ballistic missile K-4.
Pooja, it's very difficult to overstate the huge significance of what India has just tested. This happened last evening, according to my information. Now, the K-4 is basically India's first long-range nuclear-capable submarine-launched ballistic missile. Now, remember, this is not just any ordinary missile. Number one, it's been fired for the first time from a submarine. The K-4 is a missile that is capable of incredible ranges, as much as 3,500 to 4,000 kilometers. And according to my sources, the test yesterday took place at maximum range across the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. So this was basically one of the most ambitious tests of a long-range missile that India has ever done. The difficulties of firing a submarine-launched ballistic missile, Pooja, should be obvious to most. But remember, you're basically couching a missile inside a submarine. The submarine is underwater, many meters underwater. The missile has to emerge from the submarine, swim to the surface, and then blast off, towards its target, like any other ordinary ballistic missile. But this amazing symphony of moving parts makes it one of the most difficult technologies to master. India has done it with shorter range submarine launched ballistic missiles, but the K-4 is a true blue part now of India's nuclear triad. Remember that the Indian strategic forces have the Agni missiles, which are fired from land. We've got missiles that are fired from the air by the Air Force, but the nuclear leg of India's, the sea leg of India's nuclear triad had been wanting for quite a while now. India did not have a credible long-range missile. We've got something called the K-15, which has a range of about 750 meters, but the K-4 sports a range of between 3,500 and 4,000 kilometers, which is, a very, very meaningful range for India's adversaries. And therefore, this particular test gives India a huge, huge leg up as far as its nuclear readiness and its nuclear triad is concerned.
Shiv, I'm also looking at, like you're mentioning, it's as much about the nuke power, self-defense, it's about Atmanirbhar Bharat, it's the DRDO also getting these successful missions that one after another that we are witnessing in the past 1 or 2 years. And do you think this is India's focus? It's an energy refresh to add on to your defense arsenal, to the nuclear arsenal, as and when, if at all required?
The great thing about Indian defense is, as much as there is a lot to criticize and there is a lot to still achieve on many fronts, when it comes to India's nuclear deterrent, when it comes to India's missile program, India has achieved an incredible amount of self-reliance over the years. And we must also not only salute the DRDO teams, and the atomic energy teams that have achieved the huge task of building India's own nuclear submarines, but the fact that the K-4 ballistic missile that's just been tested, by the way, Pooja, K stands for Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam. So the K series of missiles is actually a tribute to his memory and the work that he did with India's missile program. But be that as it may, the K-4 fills a gap that India has felt for many, many years. I think it's also important to remember that while we talk about defense and strategic deterrence, there's a huge difference. Remember that the K-4, the Agni, missiles of that kind are only useful, that this is the great irony of nuclear weapons, which is that their effectiveness is only proven if they don't ever need to be used. Because if India ever comes to a point where it needs to actually fire a K-4 missile in anger, it means that things have already deteriorated very, very badly and the world is in a nuclear war phase. So it's important to point out that a missile like the K-4, the ability to prove itself in this manner is very much a deterrent. It's a message. It's not just a missile. It's a message to the world that India is nuclear capable, not just from land, not just from the air, but also from sea. It's the most difficult, technically complicated missile firing to actually take place. And therefore, I think all of the teams involved in this test yesterday need to be commended, need to be saluted. And the cherry on top is that this missile test has taken place from India's brand new ballistic missile submarine INS Arihat, which was just commissioned into service a couple of months ago, Pooja. So it's like a double whammy as far as the nuclear command is concerned.
From Agni 5 to hypersonic and now to this nuke power. Well, India better be prepared. That's what the strategy has been. Thank you very much, Shiv, Aroor, for the latest on that. So you're looking at the visuals of the first test of the K-4, Kalam 4 missile from the submarine, and that has taken place. It's the nuclear capability to keep in our arsenal and to set as a deterrent.